Which doobie you be? Fooshnickens. Heard of them? Probably not, right? I think this was one I scanned and they seem to do pretty well. Has a bit of value. Well, hello, welcome back to the Tat Cave. I thought I would make a video talking about this epic collection of 90s rap CDs. I put a post out on Instagram and it had a lot of interest, and I had some private messages on that asking about the CDs and are they available for sale and what other stuff is in there. Loads and loads of interest. So I thought I'd make a video where we go through this and I can talk about it. I've done some minimal searches, just scanning some barcodes into eBay. So I'll drop a few completeds in here and there. I was trying to find UK completeds where I could, but a lot of this stuff, there was just no sales history. A lot of the completed ones were in America. A lot of this stuff is American imported stuff. Missing the pile there. But yeah, some really interesting stuff. Now, rap music is not my thing, but I'm into music generally. I was working in record stores in the 90s, and I remember a lot of this stuff coming out. I remember ordering some of this stuff in for customers that were, that were really into that sort of music. And rap became much more mainstream towards the end of the 90s. And the later ones in here are fairly common. There's Cypress Hill stuff in here and like Gravediggers stuff when they got really big. Some of their stuff was huge by the time we got to 97, 98, that sort of period. Anyway, I'm starting to waffle. Point is, rap isn't my sort of thing, but I just love music and music history and the whole thing around it. So when I bought this collection, by the way, which was 110 CDs, there was also a load of dance and indie and rock. I believe it was all the same person's collection. You've got like 808 State in here. You've got Red Hot Chili Peppers in here. You can see the crossover, really. Rage Against the Machine, right? Rap, rock, crossover. But then you've got loads of, I think every Happy Mondays album and Black Grape is in here. Massive Attack, again, kind of crossover stuff. Anyway, I'm not going to talk about all of that for now. We're just going to go through what is in here. So I paid £30 for everything. So it works out a fraction under 30 pence a CD. And when you see what's in here, it's a crazy bargain. So anyway, let's take a look and see what we've got. So there was a bunch of De La Soul. I've never seen this album. Stakes is High. Don't know if that's an early one. Looks like it. Can't see a date. Again, what looks like early De La Soul. So as we go, some of these searches I've done that I saved onto my phone, I'll just ping up completed listings on eBay. I think virtually all of them are UK completeds. I was trying to do that. There might be the odd American one in there when that's all I could find. But yeah, occasionally completed listings on eBay will pop up to give you an idea of values. A nice single there from 3 Feet High and Rising, which is also in here. This is the double CD version, rather nice. Huge album. I remember this so vividly. Was it what, 1990? 89, I think that says. I can barely read it, it's so small. I just remember that being such a big deal when I was at secondary school. Me, Myself and I on single, isn't that cool? Another single, Keeping the Faith, De La Soul. There were a handful of singles, not many. De La Soul is Dead. So that's, what's that, early 90s, 92, 93. Oh, it's 91. Okay, 91. So I think that's all for De La Soul. So there's not much, some of this won't have a great deal of value individually. Some really do. But that, for example, might be a perfect bundle. If you look up on eBay bundles of rap CDs, not necessarily just one band, collections of early 90s rap, go for silly money sometimes. But that might be, depending on what the individual values are, a perfect little bundle. And they fly out. So Wu-Tang. There's some Wu-Tang stuff in here. I mean, Wu-Tang by this time, this is late 90s, isn't it? Oh, I can't read the dates. They're so small. They were huge. 97. Yeah. So they're not rare. They were common because they sold in big numbers. But probably these will be bundled together. So there's 3. I did try and lump them all together before doing the video. So 3 Wu-Tang there. Sold in massive numbers. Probably will bundle the 3 together. Ice Cube. Now, I had an Ice Cube album on vinyl ages ago. I can't remember what it sold for, but it sold for good money. Yeah, so we've got America's Most Wanted, Lethal Injection. So we're talking early 90s here again, aren't we? 93. Can't see it. 1990. Yeah, early stuff. Death Certificate. Was it that one I had on vinyl? I don't know why I'm asking you. You don't know. Another one here. So again, if these don't have particular value individually, I'll bundle the, what have I got there, 4 together, and that will fly out. What's the date on this? 92. Why do they make this so small? I need a magnifying glass. KRS-One. Now, I'm sure it was KRS-One that guested on an REM tune. Was it? Oh, what was the tune? On Out of Time. Pop it in the comments below. Radio Song. Was it Radio Song? I don't know. Anyway, I think these could be quite good. Mid-90s, 95. So we've got KRS-One there. No album name. Return of the Boom Bap. KRS-One. I think there's 3. So there we go. I got next. 97. Nice little bundle there. Oh, I think these are pretty good value-wise. Lords of the Underground. This is Here Come the Lords. Another one there. This is Keepers of the Funk. Yeah, they will sell. This sort of stuff, the more obscure is where the value is, right? If they didn't sell in big numbers and people are looking for them now, they're hard to find. Demand outstrips supply, so prices rise, right? That's the basic mechanics of it. The ones like the Wu-Tang stuff that sold in the millions, there's still plenty out there. So they're not hard to get hold of, so prices stay generally low. These are interesting. Tim Dog. Are we early 90s again? 93. Interesting. And I think they'll have some value. I think I looked up this one. Yeah, Do or Die. And then this one, I think it'll appear on screen if it was one that I scanned. Yeah, interesting. Tim Dog. What's it called? Penicillin on Wax. Interesting. Date 91. You can see it's got the import sticker there. A lot of these are on import. And a single. Tim Dog single. Looks like the Snoop Dogg little cartoons. Do you remember? Snoop Dogg's early albums had little hand-drawn pictures on. So, very cool to have a single as well. And then Dr. Dre, The Chronic, and The Aftermath. And then Cypress Hill. I mean, so we're talking, actually that's quite early 90s, isn't it? But these are a bit later. So we've got the classic Black Sunday. I remember this being such a huge album. Everybody was listening to this. Not just fans of rap, right? It was just everywhere. And this has got to be early 90s. 93. It was such a huge record. Yeah. And then we've got Cypress Hill 3 and 4. Do we have here? Yeah. 3 Temples of Boom and 4. So these sold in vast numbers. They're easy to get hold of. Almost certainly they will go as a 3, but they will sell. And I would predict they will sell quick. Now, I talked about rarity. I think these are genuinely hard to find. I think it was these. I couldn't really find any completeds. So Fushnikens. Heard of them? Probably not, right? So 2 albums, Nervous Breakdown and If You Don't Take It Personal. Yeah, genuinely obscure, hard to find. I would predict they'll have some value. Iced tea stuff in here. There's an early one. Let's have a look at the date on this. What does that say? 97. Okay, I thought that would be earlier. I think that says 97. Grave Diggers. I think I looked this one up. This does really well. And I remember selling this when I worked for, where was I working? Would have been Virgin Records, I think, when this came out. Huge record. Was this 97? 97. So yeah, I was working for Our Price Records, which then was absorbed into Virgin around that time. Ended up working in a Virgin megastore. Great time to be working in a record store in the late 90s. Yeah, and this was a big record. Oh, the sleeves all got stuck together. Okay, I'm gonna have to be careful trying to get that apart. But yeah, 2 Grave Diggers ones. This one I think was particularly sought after. A couple of Easy E, Eternal E, and Straight Off the Streets. Awesome. I think there was just 2 of his. Ghostface Killer featuring Raekwon and Capadonna, Iron Man. Wow, when was this? Mid-90s, is it? Let's have a look. Can't read the date. Wow, it's so small. Hang on. 95, 96? Not sure. So this is Wu-Tang related stuff, isn't it? Again, Raekwon. All part of the Wu-Tang collective. Again, Method Man. There's the Wu-Tang logo down there, isn't it? Yeah. Interesting stuff. Interesting one here, the Alcoholics. Anyone remember them? 21 and over. So hopefully you've seen some of the completeds I found on eBay pop up on screen. I think this was one that I scanned and there was just no sales history. I think I just found that there was one available. If that was the case, that should be on screen. I think someone was trying to get some pretty good money on that CD. That is Trends of Culture. Trends. That's a new one on me. Never heard of it. So it carries on. We've got Funk Dubious. Is that Funk Dubious? That's a new one on me. Which doobie you be? Isn't that fantastic? Which doobie you be? Anyone remember that? We've got Straight Up Seaward. Das Effects. I'm sorry if I'm ruining these artists and titles. Hurricane the Horror. So yeah, some pretty obscure stuff as well as the mainstream stuff. We've got the Dog Pound, Suge Knight and Dr. Dre. Interesting. ODB. remember that coming out as well. This must be late 90s when I was working at Virgin. Can't read it. Blast from the Past, Grandmaster Flash, and the Furious Five. We saw some of these guys at Rewind this year, still going strong. The Greatest Hits. Melly Mel, I'm sure Melly Mel was there at Rewind this year. That's awesome. Another single, Genius / GZA, Cold World, interesting one. Wu-Tang Killer Bees, RZA presents. Another Wu-Tang spin-off. Now we've got RZA as Bobby Digital. I remember this being big at the time. Yeah, blimey, it's a blast from the past. Body Count. I seem to recall this had a track on it that they had to reissue it and take a track off or edit a track. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm sure there's versions of this that are worth more because they have the original track list with the original versions on. Is that right? I seem to remember selling it years and years ago and getting more money because it was the original. I'm not sure. This is on Sire, so that's an import version. Oh, well, it actually says new version on there, so I don't know. Jeru the Damager. I remember that name. 1996, I think that says. Wrath of the Math? Wrath of the Math? Don't know. Iceberg? The Iceberg? Intelligent Hoodlum Tragedy. I think this was one I scanned and they seem to do pretty well. Has a bit of value. LL Cool J. Now, do you know what LL Cool J stands for? I believe, if my memory serves me, it's Ladies Love Cool J. That's what the LL is anyway. 14 Shots to the Dome. Is that an early one? We've got 93, I think that says on there. He looks pretty young. Akin Yeli. Sorry if I've murdered that. Not a name I know. Don't know. Murder Was the Case. So this is the soundtrack to the film. And didn't Snoop star in that? Murder Was the Case. Yeah, pretty sure that's soundtrack. Yeah. Soundtrack director Dr. Dre. Yeah, interesting one. There's a couple of soundtracks here. Friday, huge selling soundtrack. Probably really common. As would... Now this is a classic. Boys in the Hood. Who remembers that? That was out in what? 91? That sort of time. Oh, let's have a look. Not going to be able to read it, am I? 1990. There's a date on the back there. There's a 91 date on the CD. So yeah, about that sort of time. I remember watching this film. Amazing film. DJ Cool. Such a good collection, this. EPMD. Now we're late 90s, aren't we? This is, yeah, 97. Okay. Yeah, I remember selling this. Yeah, I would have been working in the R price at that point. Brand Nubian. That's a new one on me. Brand Nubian. Everything is everything. Nope. Oh, dropped it. Wow, this looks early. Ice MC Cinema. What's the date on here? Can I see a date? No. Inside? Okay, no date anywhere. No idea on that. Hood Rats. Interesting. Frankie Cutlass. That's a name I remember. What's this? 97. Yeah, so this is again the period I was working in record stores and handling this stuff day in, day out. Killer Priest. Heavy Mental. Ah, it's a Wu-Tang spin-off there then. Interesting. So say 98. I should have gone and grabbed my magnifying glass. I don't know where it is. Nearly there. The Lynch Mob. Planet of the Apes. Do not remember those guys. 1994. Anyone remember them? Eric Sermon. I remember that name. Interesting. Eric Sermon. No Pressure. Solid debut by the E of EPMD. Oh, okay. So he was the E in EPMD. I'm learning stuff. Last two. Tupac. He sold millions. I mean, these won't be rare. Although I do remember scanning this one and I was surprised what people are getting. This is Machiavelli, the Don Killuminati. Is that how you say it? Which is a Tupac album. Yeah, people were achieving pretty good money on that one, which surprised me. But yeah, Tupac stuff I never had any trouble selling. So there you go. What a collection. You don't find collections like that very often, let alone at a little under 30p a CD. Plus all this other really cool stuff I've got down here. There was all sorts in here. Loads of Chemical Brothers albums. Really nice bundle. I can make up there. All sorts. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed that. If you are interested in any of that, the best way to contact me is through Instagram. The links for that are below. Just drop me a message. I can send you prices. I will be putting this on eBay as soon as I get round to it. But if you know me, you'll know nothing happens quick in these parts because I have a bit of a backlog of unlisted stuff. So when I'm going to get round to ploughing through all of that, where am I pointing? Here. I don't know. Anyway, thank you for watching. If you'd like to carry on watching me, I will share a video right here. Click on there and I'll see you there in a sec. Ta-ra.